Now you know why do we need functions and where functions are used in JavaScript. In this lecture, let's dive deeper and explore syntax of the functions. And after that, we will dive into coding and we'll try everything in action. Okay, function is an object. How you can check this? Let's look at this example. If you declare a function using function declaration, you create, in fact, new variable. And this variable holds a function as a value. And if you will use console dir in the console of the browser to log myFn in this example, you will get this structure. And in fact, it is an object. You may notice here a property called proto. And as we have discussed before, this property is part of each object in JavaScript. You also see here other properties, for example length, and its value is 2. And this property holds quantity of the parameters of the function. And as you see on the left, there are two parameters, a and b. You also see name of the function, and in our case it is myFn. There are also such weird properties as function location and scopes. Those properties are hidden properties of the object, and first one points to the location of this function in the JavaScript file. And in this example, it is index.js file, and after the colon, you see line where this function is declared. Scopes is another hidden property of the function, and it contains scope chain. No worries, we will discuss scope chains later on in the course. For now, please keep in mind that function is simply an object, nothing else. Okay, let's now look at the syntax of the function. And we will explore syntax of the function that was declared using function declaration, that we have just seen in the previous example. So, if you declare a function using function declaration, first comes reserved keyword function. Then after the space comes function name. In this example, it is myFn. Then parentheses, and inside of the parentheses, you put list of parameters, separated by commas. No need to add any let, var or const keywords here, simply list of parameters. Then space and pair of curly braces. And everything between curly braces is called function body. Inside of the function body, you can put any JavaScript expressions or statements, same as you do without any function. Also, inside of this function, you can place other function. At the end of the function body here, you may notice return keyword. And return keyword is used to return result of the function. And in this example, we return variable c. In fact, we return its value. But what is the job of this function in this example? This function, myFn, has two parameters, a and b. Inside of the function, we declare variable called c, and we use let keyword for that. After that, we increment value of parameter a by 1, a equal a plus 1. Next, we assign to variable c sum of a plus b. And remember that before this line, we have incremented value of the a by 1. And finally, we return c, that is a sum of a and b. Notice that after the closing curly brace, there is no semicolon. And there is no mistake here. In JavaScript, after the block of statements, you don't need to add any semicolons. Question to you. How do you think? What will happen if you will simply add this function into existing code? Answer is simple, nothing. This function will be created, and there will be new variable called myFn. But in fact, nothing happens because you don't call function. If you want to call a function, you need to use function name plus parentheses. Let's look at the next example. And in this example, we call myFn. And we do that after function declaration. So first comes function declaration with function keyword myFn is the name of the function, and a and b are function parameters. And after this function declaration, we use following syntax. myFn, it is a function name, then parentheses, and inside of the parentheses you see here two numbers, 10 and 3. Using this single line of code, we will execute myFn function. What does it mean execute? What happens under the hood? In this example, before execution of 4 lines inside of the function body, parameters a and b will be assigned initial values. A will get value 10 and b will get value 3. And only after this, JavaScript engine will execute all commands inside of the function body. And it will start with let c. So new variable c will be declared. Then we will increment value of a by 1, and a will become 11. Then, at the next line c equal a plus b, we will sum value of the a and value of b. A is currently 11 and b is 3. That's why c will be assigned value 14. And finally, we reach last statement, return c. And on this line, value of variable c, that is 14 at the moment, will be returned back as a result of the function. And this completes function call. Please note that in this example, number 14 will not be printed to the console, because there is no console log statement. But this value will be returned as a result of the function call. And if you want to see this result in the console, you can use following syntax: console.log and in the parentheses myFn parentheses 10 and 3. And in such case, you will get 14 in the console. Okay, question for you. What you will get as a result of the function call if you will call myFn function with arguments 41 and 12? Correct, you will get 54. Okay, let's move on. Very important notice. Please keep in mind that names that you put in the parentheses after the function name are called parameters. And values or variables that you put in the parentheses in the function call are called arguments. So in this example, a and b at the first line are parameters, and 10 and 3 on the last line are arguments. And what happens under the hood is that parameters are assigned corresponding values of arguments. And this happens each time when you call a function. One more question to you. How do you think what you will get if you will try to access a, b or c outside of the function, for example, using console log? Answer is following. If you will try to log to the console a, b or c outside of the myFn function, in all those cases you will get reference error, variable is not defined. How do you think why is that? That's because variables a, b and c are limited only to myFn function, and they are not available outside of it. This is called scope, and variables a, b and c are limited to the function scope. No worries, we will talk about scopes later on. For now, please keep in mind that variables a, b and c will not be available outside of the myFn function. Also, you should understand that parameters of the function are also variables. But you don't use let, var or const for declaration of those variables. And those variables will be automatically declared and assigned at the moment of each function call. In this example, when we will call myFn function with two arguments 10 and 3, new variable a will be declared and assigned value 10, and another variable b will be declared and assigned value 3. And later on inside of the function, we reassign, for example, value of variable a. You see here on this line, a equal a plus 1. It means that parameters inside of the function behave as usual variable, nothing else. And in fact, they are variables. But they are special variables, because you are able to assign initial values to those variables at the moment of the function call. And for that, you use arguments. And last variable, variable c, is declared inside of the myFn function. And you are not able to assign initial value to it using arguments, because this variable c is not a parameter. This variable c is declared dynamically after each function call. And after return c statement, this variable is deleted. So let's shortly summarize. In this example, you see function declaration, and name of the function is myFn. A and b are parameters of the function, and in fact, parameters are variables that are available only inside of the function. But you are able to set initial values of those variables using arguments inside of the function call. And that is done in this example on the last line, myFn parentheses 10, 3. 10 and 3 will be correspondingly initial values for variables a and b. Also, you are able to declare new variables inside of the function body. And in this example, there is such variable, variable c. And all mentioned variables a, b, and c are not available outside. They are limited only to the myFn function. Okay, but what about parameters, arguments, return keyword? Are they mandatory or optional? Answer is following. Parameters of the function are optional. Statement with return keyword is also optional. And arguments in the function call are also optional. And that's why you are able to create simplest function in JavaScript. Here it is. Just function keyword, myFn, that is function name, parentheses, pair of curly braces, and that's all. That is a function declaration, and this function has only name and nothing else. And if you will call this function below, call of course without any arguments, you will get undefined, because if function doesn't have return keyword, it automatically returns undefined. And again, here you see one more example of the undefined value type, and you see that it is system value, and it is returned automatically if function doesn't have any return statement. In this example, you see function declaration, and in the function declaration, you cannot omit function keyword, function name, in this example myFn, parentheses, even if you don't have parameters, you must add parentheses, and pair of curly braces. You cannot also omit them. Okay, now you know what is function declaration, you also know function syntax. It consists of function keyword, function name, parameters, and function body. And you also know that if you call a function, you pass in the function call list of arguments. Let's now try all of this in action, and let's finally dive into the coding. See you after the pause. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please don't forget to ask them here in the comment section below. See you in the next videos. Bye-bye.